Before we go through the actual steps to perform the bench press on the Revolution, it's very important that you take a look at how to grab the handle safely, because it can be dangerous for the front of your shoulder if you do it incorrectly. Now watch. Josh is going to reach back and grab that handle. I will hand him this one to save some time. But here's what you don't want to do, is just grab around like that. Now Josh is strong and we got this on a really light weight so he can show you those things. But the ideal thing to do is to bend your elbow like a curl. Get this handle as close to your elbow as possible and then rotate your elbows out to the side so that there's about an 80 or 90 degree angle between your torso and your upper arm. Notice there's about a 90 degree bend in the arm itself. Now, the direction you push is going to be critical in creating the proper path of motion. So as you push away from your chest, push forward, you'll notice that the cable is in line with the arm, maybe just slightly touching the top of Josh's arm. We don't want this. We don't want a huge gap like that, where there's a huge distance, and we don't want it really uncomfortable dragging on his arm. That means you're too low. Now, I have recommended for most bench presses to use the setting number 8 on the adjustable arms. This creates a width that's just about right for a standard bench press. A couple things to take note of. Number one, notice how Josh keeps his rib cage up. He's kind of drawing his shoulders together behind him and his rib cage up and keeps it that way. Now I want you to watch what happens as he goes through the motion and how his pecs are working real hard here. And if he lets his rib cage drop, he kind of starts to lose a little bit of the tension that he was generating in there before. So for effectiveness, you'll notice this if you work hard. Now if you got too much weight, you won't be able to do this. You've got to back off, learn the movements like we talked about before. The other thing I'd like for you to look at is how he bends his elbows on the way down and straightens them as he comes up. So he's not doing like a fly, and he's not keeping his elbows real close in here. It's almost as if his forearms are staying parallel to each other as they go wide and parallel to each other as they come forward. And the final thing, take a look at his range of motion. When he goes down to the bottom, he's stopping when his upper arm is at about bench level. He's not excessively low below the bench. That makes it a lot safer for the front of his shoulder and for his shoulder joint.